As of February 2025, Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, remains in detention in Nigeria. In December 2023, Nigeria's Supreme Court reinstated terrorism charges against him, reversing a previous Court of Appeal decision that had discharged and acquitted him. Recently, Kanu's legal team has raised concerns about the handling of his case. Justice Binta Nyoko, who had previously recused herself due to allegations of bias, was reassigned to preside over Kanu's trial. In response, Kanu's lawyers petitioned the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Kudirat Kokerikon, requesting the reassignment of his case to a different judge. The prolonged detention and legal proceedings have drawn international attention. Kanu's brother, Kingsley Kanu, has accused the UK government of abandoning Nnamdi, a British citizen, and has called on Prime Minister Keir Starmer to intervene. Despite Nigerian courts acknowledging the illegal transfer of Nnamdi from Kenya to Nigeria in 2021, the UK government has yet to take significant action. Stay with us as we delve deeper into this situation through a story inspired by African folklore. In a land of rolling hills and vast forests, there was a great eagle named Nnamdi. He was no ordinary bird, he was strong, wise, and had a voice that carried across the valleys. He led a group of birds called the Biafran flock, who longed to fly freely in a part of the sky they could call their own. For years, the sky was ruled by the powerful Falcon clan, who controlled where the smaller birds could fly and what they could do. Nnamdi spoke against this, urging his flock to believe in their right to freedom. He would perch on the tallest tree and call out, "We must have a place where we can fly without fear. A sky of our own, where we decide our own path." His words gave the smaller birds hope, but the Falcon clan saw him as a threat. They feared that if Nnamdi continued to speak, other birds might also seek their own space in the sky. They knew that if they let this idea spread, they would lose their control. One day, Nnamdi flew beyond his usual hunting grounds, searching for allies who could support the dream of his flock. He believed that in a distant land, there were birds who valued fairness and justice, and they might help his people gain the freedom they desired. But the Falcon clan had been watching him. They sent word to a cunning fox in a faraway land, asking for help. The fox, always looking for favors and rewards, set a trap. He sent a message to Nnamdi, pretending to be a friend who supported his cause. "Come," the fox said, "we will help you. We believe in your dream." Trusting the fox, Nnamdi flew into his land. But as soon as he arrived, he was seized. His wings were tied, and he was placed in a wooden cage. The Falcon clan then sent their strongest hawks to carry Nnamdi back to their land, where they locked him in a dark and narrow cage. Back in Nnamdi's homeland, his capture sent shockwaves through the Biafran flock. They cried out for his release, hoping the great lion, who ruled over the entire land, would step in. The lion was known to speak of justice and fairness, and many believed he would not allow such an injustice to happen. But the lion remained silent. Some birds whispered among themselves, "Perhaps the lion does not wish to anger the Falcon clan. Perhaps he fears what will happen if he stands against them." Others believed that the lion was waiting for the right time. Weeks turned into months. The Biafran flock kept calling for Nnamdi's freedom, but the lion only sent vague messages: "We are watching. We are concerned." Meanwhile, Nnamdi remained in his cage, unable to stretch his wings, unable to fly. Though locked in a cage, Nnamdi did not stay silent. Every day, he sang the songs of his people. His voice, though muffled by the bars of his prison, still found its way to the open sky. The little birds carried his message far and wide, telling the other creatures of the forest about his fate. Even among the lion's own people, some began to ask, why has the lion not acted? Is justice only for those with power? The Biafran flock, though heartbroken, did not stop. They continued to cry out, hoping that one day, their leader would be free. As more creatures learned of Nnamdi's captivity, pressure began to mount. Some wise owls spoke in hushed voices, "If the lion does nothing, what does that mean for the rest of us? If a strong eagle can be taken and locked away without reason, then who is safe?" A group of doves, known for their role in peacekeeping, sent messages to distant lands, urging them to intervene. Even some hawks from the Falcon clan began to question whether keeping Nnamdi locked up was worth the growing unrest. The lion, realizing that his people were beginning to see his inaction as weakness, finally spoke. "We are looking into this matter," he announced. But words were not enough. The Biafran flock demanded action, and so did many others who had grown tired of seeing justice denied. Meanwhile, Nnamdi remained in his cage, but his spirit never wavered. He refused to be broken. He refused to let fear take hold of his heart. He knew that even though his body was trapped, his voice still reached the sky. One day, an elder tortoise, known for his wisdom, came to visit the lion. "O great lion," he said, "a leader is measured not by his words, but by his actions. If you allow this injustice to stand, your own power will weaken. The creatures of the land will see that even the mighty lion fears the falcon clan. But if you act, you will be remembered as a ruler of true strength and fairness." The lion, now seeing the weight of his inaction, finally called for a great meeting. He summoned the leaders of the falcon clan and declared, the eagle must be freed. His imprisonment was unjust, and justice must be done. The falcon clan, faced with growing pressure from all sides, had no choice. They could not continue holding Nnamdi without facing consequences. Reluctantly, they agreed to let him go. The news spread quickly. The Biafran flock rejoiced, singing the songs of freedom that Nnamdi had taught them. As he was released from his cage, he stretched his wings and soared into the sky once more. Though weakened by his time in captivity, his spirit was stronger than ever. He returned to his homeland, where his flock greeted him with open wings. They knew that the struggle was not over, but they also knew that no matter what, their voices would never be silenced again. A leader's strength is not in how much power they hold, but in how fairly they use it. When those in authority ignore the cries of the people, they begin to lose the trust that holds their rule together. The people may wait, they may hope, but in the end, silence does not last forever. A cage may be built with the strongest iron, its bars tightly locked, yet the truth does not stay confined. It moves through whispers, through voices that refuse to be drowned out. Even when one voice is silenced, others rise to carry its message. No amount of force can keep the truth hidden forever. Throughout history, injustice has never lasted without resistance. No ruler, no government, no system can suppress the will of the people indefinitely. There comes a time when the weight of oppression becomes too much to bear, and when that moment arrives, the people rise. It is not a question of if, but when. In the real world, Nnamdi Kanu's case echoes these truths. His long detention, the reluctance of those in power to act, and the persistence of his supporters show the same patterns seen in history time and time again. The story of the caged eagle is not just a tale, it is a reflection of reality. The question that remains is whether justice will triumph. Will Nnamdi Kanu regain his freedom as the eagle did? Only time will tell. But one thing is certain, when people refuse to be silenced, when they stand together, the course of history begins to shift. No cage, no silence, no oppression lasts forever.